Well, I'm happy to be here today with Reed Jackson from Dallas County. So you're the fleet for the county of Dallas, I guess, right? Or tell us about the fleet.
So I am the fleet analyst for Dallas County.
Yeah.
We're in the government sector,
Yep.
so we are public. So my department brought in this role to help translate data, and Geotab is one of the softwares we use primarily to pull that. And I think right now one of our biggest goals, which I think they brought me in for, is help for grant research and to help our initiative of moving towards transitioning the fleet to EV, full EV.
Wow. So, yeah, I want to talk to you about that. But this is interesting because your position was basically created, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the government or the county actually found the need to have someone specific to data analytics. Okay. And that would be analytics based on telematics, but also other types of data that you're pulling in to analyze, right? Talk about that.
Yeah, we're looking at everything from heat maps to where we need to implement charging infrastructure. We're looking at idle reduction. We're trying to cut emissions. That's which would move us forward to get on goal of our EV performance.
Yep.
Asset tracking in general, making sure seatbelts are used, safety, risk management. So there's so many factors.
Yeah, there really is. And how was it done before? Was it done by disparate teams that weren't talking to each other, or?
Well, I think I have a great team, and I think they were stretched thin. That's why my position was created.
I see.
And I think they did the best they could. But my goal and why I believe they onboarded me is to help fill in for the work that was spread out. So.
Yeah, for sure. I got it. So this is a pretty big initiative with EVs, and it really comes at a time when there's been a bit of disruption in the market, some consolidation, some models are available now, then they're not available. Are you looking to be, I mean, there's certain emergency vehicles that probably not a fit for EVs right now, but what does the total universe look like for your fleet? What's your fleet size, and how many vehicles do you want to convert to electric?
Well, right now I would say our fleet's around 1,100 assets, and you got to think of when you're looking at the government sector, we're talking about first responders, like pursuit vehicles.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that the metrics or the specs, if you want to put it that way, on these vehicles can perform to where law enforcement or fire marshals, can successfully do their job, in a safe way, serving the public. So there's a lot of factors to it.
So in this EV journey, where are you? Like, have you fleeted any EVs yet, or you just starting, or what?
So we've been slowly dripping EV vehicles into the fleet, and it's a whole evaluation of the ROI. We're looking at diesel and other internal combustion vehicles that the opportunity cost is worth trading in. So I think we've implemented about 64 EV vehicles into our fleet.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, the goal obviously is to have zero net carbon emissions in the long run. I mean, that's everyone's goal. So we're working on it.
So would you say, like, out of 1,100 total units, you might try to get to maybe like 800, or?
Well, if you look at how many sheriffs or how many fire marshals there are, I mean, I would say that's probably about upwards of 40 to 50% of our fleet, and
I see.
Those are vehicles that it's harder to transition to EVs.
Yeah.
So that's something that would probably be the last thing we would attack.
Okay. And what do you see as the biggest challenge in this EV goal?
I would say just finding the correct data that shows the savings, just in general. It's all about cost reduction. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've got a cap cost going into these vehicles, and they have a premium over ICE. It's coming down a little bit, but I mean, I guess as a county, do you know how many miles your vehicles run generally per year in the county?
It depends on what department or what group, So let's say, I mean, a fire marshal could go anywhere from 10 to 30,000, whereas a shuttle vehicle for a county clerk could, maybe barely get over 5,000 miles.
well, one of the challenges that I've been hearing, particularly in the public sector, is really getting new personnel in there and fulfilling positions. How are you finding that? Has that been a challenge?
Definitely. I would say my position is a little hybrid too, because we're over fleet operations, and we need techs. We need mechanics in the shop to be able to meet these work orders.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge battle that we're always facing, trying to get, high value mechanics with the correct certificates that want to make the county like their long term.
How many of the fleet vehicles actually have telematics?
Right now, since we use Geotab, we're sitting above 850.
Wow. Okay. And you've had that for about how many years?
3 years.
All right. And what do you use the system primarily for?
Just tracking, grouping, organization. Obviously, once you're over even 50 vehicles, I mean, you could say even 10. I mean, being able to keep tabs on certain groups and have certain rules set to where you can get in there and instantly access what you need, that's probably one of the most powerful tools that I can use from Geotab.
Wow. Okay. And is that a aspirational goal, or is that you're kind of sort of there?
It's just more so leads to efficiency, just saving time. If I need to find a constable in precinct 3, it's right there. We have it organized. So.
Got it. Okay. And then, we are dealing, and this I guess would be your position as a data analyst, so many disparate data sets from so many different sources. How do you manage all that? And what's the goals for integrating that data?
Yeah, so right now we use AssetWorks, and it processes through translating like APIs to Geotab. Mm-hmm. So right now we're actually waiting on an update to make them communicate a lot better. But I mean, right now I'm pulling reports from AssetWorks and Geotab, and I'm comparing them a lot of the times. We also use another system called Profit from Longobart, which is really good. And it's a lot of cross-referencing, but one thing I've noticed too with this conference specifically is the new implementation of Geotab ACE, the AI system.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that we'll be able to ask that eventually to take the data from both those softwares, if they're translating together, and give like a combined result.
Right, and that gets tricky too, because I guess you got to scrub the data to make sure that the AI is looking at it the right way. I mean, you got AssetWorks data, you've got Geotab Telematics data, mm-hmm. But the goal would be, hey, tell me my top 10 underutilized vehicles, mm-hmm. And then where are they? Where are they located? Or any question, drill down on anything.
Yeah, it's like all AI. It's much as you put in, that's what you're going to get out.
Yeah.
And I will say one thing I do like about it is because it's really good at giving you the receipt. It has the breakdown. It goes into even SQL if you want to get really advanced. Okay. And it eventually, hopefully, will tell you, we have this from AssetWorks. We got this solely from your Telematics and Geotab. Mm-hmm. We cross-reference them. This is the median data points. I mean, that's what I'm assuming will happen.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of light bulbs will be going off when it finally gets put into fruition.
Definitely.
Yeah, very cool. Well, Reed, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Right. Yeah.